Ron Moshier from the Utica Observer-Dispatch. Ron, first of all, I wanted your take, just if I could, on the Eli situation and gone, and then firing the coach, and now Eli is back. What are your thoughts on the Giants right now?
Dysfunctional family. How about that?
Yeah.
I just thought it was mishandled and Eli was mistreated. And I can tell you, Bill, as a diehard Giants fan, since I started walking, I can tell you that I'm not a big Eli fan.
Right.
But I just thought he was mistreated for what he's meant to the franchise, to the Giants. I mean, on and off the field. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, but he's up for NFL Man of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was long before this happened. I just think he's a class act, and what the Giants did as an organization was classless. I mean, there's no way Geno Smith or Davis Webb, either one of them are going to be the future of the franchise as far as a quarterback. There's no way. So why not let Eli play it out? I mean, we even saw yesterday that, yes, Eli had 2 interceptions, but one was a tipped ball. And prior to that, I mean, that could have been a much different game if Eli didn't have so many drops, including Shepard over the middle on a big third down play when they were driving. So, I mean, other than Shepard and the rookie tight end, Evan Ingram, they have no names at wide receiver. They had no names in the secondary, which showed later in the fourth quarter when a 10-10 game became a 30-10 blowout. So I just think as an organization, they're getting what they deserve right now. Yeah. I mean, they've mishandled so much there, and I like Spagnuolo as an interim coach. I don't know what direction they're going. I know Bill Cowher's name always comes up, but who the heck would give up a cushy job on TV as an NFL analyst and, have to be on the sidelines, let's say, like at Buffalo yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that? I mean,
I kept switching back and forth, which is what I usually do on a Sunday. So commercial, I would go to the snowstorm in Buffalo. So
it was. I know some people that went, and they really lived through some history. It's one of the worst, if not the worst, conditions for a Bills game in Buffalo in the history of the Bills, and they've had some storms. It was a brutal. That snow, that lake effect just kept coming down yesterday. All right, here we go. Here we are with we're in basketball and wrestling seasons. So give us, as we head into the holidays, a little prediction on what you're looking at this year.
Well, I'm going to mention 2 schools, and this is going to be boys and girls basketball, Bill.
Okay.
I'm going to mention 2 schools. Class A, Notre Dame. Notre Dame in Class A boys basketball, I think, has a shot to go a long ways. Ryan Gokes has done a great job there. He's got some great athletes. He's got all 5 starters back from last year. As expected in the Tri-Valley League opener last Friday night at Whitesboro. Whitesboro gave him a game, made him sweat it out. I think it was a 6-point win. But I really look for big things from Notre Dame, both their boys and the girls basketball teams. The 2 Searing sisters, Claire and Emma at Notre Dame. They're outstanding. Claire's already a 1,000-point scorer, and Emma is only a junior and a tall kid who runs the floor. Is a great finisher, great offensive rebounder. I look for, Notre Dame girls, I believe, are Class B. Notre Dame boys are Class A, and I think both of them can go a long ways this year. And the other school, Bill, is Waterville. Watch out for Waterville, boys and girls basketball both. I believe in both. They're down to Class D this year. They were a small C. I remember a few years ago, Kobe Maxim, the boys coach, led Waterville to the state championship game in Glens Falls a couple of years ago. I haven't seen them in person, so I'm not saying they have that kind of team this year, but I think they're off to a really good start, and I think you can expect big things from them in Class D boys basketball.
Wow.
And on the girls' side, Larry Stockwell's been around forever. He's got over 500 wins at Waterville, and now they go from Class C to Class D. And it's got a great guard in Sophie Wittenbeck and some good size inside. And I think they can go a long way in Class D girls, too. So I'd look at those 2. And then if you keep going with boys basketball, DVS in Class B, when you've got Davey Moffitt and Dewey Roden, Davey and Dewey show. It's the same thing in baseball. They're very, very good, and they've got quite a bit back. Jake Engler's a good guard. Nate Palmer's a great athlete on the point, so they could go a ways in Class B as well. And in Class D, boys basketball, I can tell you, Waterville, look for Oriskany to still be around.
I was going to ask about Oriskany
Westmoreland on Saturday, but I think they can go a ways with Ricky Phelps. And then you got Madison, who's still very good. They won the section title last year. I know they lost a great guard in Tyler Hummer, but they've got Sam Madison back, and they've got Spencer Havlin, and they could go ways in Class D yet again. So I think, we've got a couple large schools who can go ways, and we've got, as usual, some Class D teams that I think can go deep in the playoffs.
That was my question on the Oriskany New York Mills. New York Mills been a powerhouse forever.
Yep.
And then Oriskany kind of rose up a couple of years ago, and they've been around. They've been in the state conversation for a couple of years.
I'd like to ask about high school wrestling. I know that Central Valley Academy had probably one of the most successful seasons any wrestling team has ever had in this area last year, but they lost a lot to graduation. And what's the anticipation this year?
Well, I still think Bob Bush has an outstanding program there, obviously, and they just won the Valley Duels at their place. And the week before that, they won the Newark Valley tournament. And, they started out 0-2 after going 31-0 in duels last year.
Yeah.
But those two losses were to Fulton, who's a big school powerhouse year after year, a team that they knocked off last year in the Section 3 duel tournament. And then they lost to a very good Camden team in a close match in their second duel meet. So I still think, he's got his twins there, Mason and Merrick. Got Trent Ingram. He's got John Charles, who's won a state title. He's got Hunter Shaw, who's won a state title. So I know Bob told me that he's got some holes to fill. Hey, let's face it, when you lose a guy like Tanner Cook and C.J. Walls, but I still think they can be heard from when we get down, down to the class tournaments in Section 3. I think they're still a powerhouse. Camden's still good. Adirondack's always good. So I think we've got some great wrestling teams around here. I only wish, Bill, that that last year was the year that the state started dual meet championship.
Right.
That would have been great for Central Valley. I'm not saying they can't be a contender again this year, but if it was last year, I would have put my money on them.
Well, I got to tell you, too, if you know the sport, you realize a victory over Fulton is which happened last year, is a big deal. That is such a program out there. So, for years, and remember he doesn't coach there anymore, but Mike Connors was a legend there as a coach too. So, all right, Ron, and their program, Baldwinsville, when you go up against the big boys in wrestling and you can beat them, that tells you how good CBA's season was a year ago. No doubt about it. All right, Ron, interesting stuff. We'll read about it all in the OD. Before you know it, we'll be after the new year and all in on both of these sports. So we appreciate it. Thanks. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Ron Moshier, Utica OD.